Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is spoken about everything on earth, heavens and earth. He's aware of everything. And then he goes to the Anbiya. وَلَقَدْ فَضَّلْنَا بَعْضَ النَّبِيِّينَ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. We have made preferences. We have made classification or degrees of the Anbiya, the prophets. Some are better than the others. In an indication to who? To the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. He is the most, you can say, prestigious, most dignified and prophet who came on earth. وَآتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ ذَبُورًا. We have given David, we have given him the Zabur, that's a book. Because some of the reason is for this ayah is some of the Jewish people have claimed that the last book was sent to the Jews was the Ten Commandments or Al-Wah or the Torah or the book of Musa. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said Dawood came after Sayyidina Musa. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we have sent to you, we have brought down the Zabur for Dawood, David. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying قُلِ ادْعُوا الَّذِينَ زَعَمْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ فَلَا يَمْلِكُونَ كَشْفَ الضُّرِّ عَنكُمْ وَلَا تَحْوِيلًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking again about people who calling others. And we kept saying calling others by using other means. Okay, you go to this grave, you go to this guy, you go to this alim, you go to this, anything you go other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you trying to use to ask Allah for something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this is called shirk billah.
You have a time, right?
فَلَا يَمْلِكُونَ كَشْفَ الضُّرِّ عَنْكُمْ وَلَا تَحْوِيلًا. Indeed, they will not able to, if a harm afflicted you, if a harm came down to you, Allah is the only one who can relieve that. This is called what? The pure Tawheed. You can't go with somebody else. Exactly. You can go and ask somebody. You can ask ulama. اسألوا أهل الذكر. Means you go out to ask ulama and all the stuff, but you have to have direct connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Exactly. And you see, like for example, Christianity, they have what? Priest. You go in Catholicism, for example, you do something called confession. You sit in front of him, you tell him your sins, what you have done, and created so many problems. But Islam, we don't have that.
No.
أولئك الذين يدعون يبتغون إلى ربهم الوسيلة أيهم أقرب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying those people who are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these people who have the preference, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يبتغون الوسيلة. يبتغون الوسيلة means they are looking for the way. They are looking for the guidance. How ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I can attain that guidance that way. It can be with the salah, with all these rituals Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have asked us to do. Like salah, obedience, for example, fasting Ramadan, for example, giving the zakah, for example, giving the charity, giving the sadaqat. They're competing. They're trying to achieve the way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أيهم أقرب. They want to be closer. Like for example, you have in front of a president, each one of these people around him, you want to be what? Closer to him. Because once you get closer, you get more relations. You can, you ask him for something. I want to put my kid in this school or my kid in this school. Everything is possible. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the same concept is you want to get close to Allah, you have a strong connection. So when you ask Allah, Ya Allah, I want this happen to me. Some disease come to you and you say, Allah, I want this disease to go away. So if you don't have that connection, how are you gonna be able to ask him? Like imagine, yes, and we'll give this example before. Imagine you have one of your schoolmate, every day in high school or even in high school. And then what happened? You cut the relation with him. Okay? And you went, in your life, and he become a CEO of a huge big corporation. All right? But you stopped connecting with him. You stopped sending email. You were very friend with him before. And then what happened? Now you want to hire your son or your daughter in his company. Or he want you to ask him to give you a reference for somebody. What are you gonna do? You're gonna call him. He will remember you? No. Now, will he respond to you? No. Even will you have the audacity to even call him? No. Because you're already far away from him. Will he remember me? Will he? That is what exactly our relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have it all the time. Be connected with him. Don't say, oh, let me do this. I'm gonna come back to Allah. It's not gonna happen. Shaitan is even more clever than that. So you have to have that connection all the time. So when the time comes and you have a hardship, the ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, kashfu ad-durr, means to resolve or to relieve your hardship. He's the only one who can do that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, so you have to have the connection. يَبْتَغُونَ الْوَسِيلَةِ. All the time they're seeking the way. All the time they're trying to make him happy. They're trying to connect. What to you, Allah? Did I say something to this guy which I'm not supposed to? I go and apologize. Ya Allah, did I treat this guy in a bad manner or in a bad way? I go and apologize and try to resolve. Did I take something I'm not supposed to take from this guy or this whatever? Any of the huquq, any of the amanat, any of the thing, I go return it. Very important to understand that, because the whole idea about Islam is not just what you come to. If you read the history of all the prophets, what happened? Did the prophets, all these messengers stay 24/7 doing i'tikaf, 24/7 doing salah? No, it was part. But the main idea, they have a job outside, which is guide people around them. They had to guide people around them. You understand what I'm saying? It's not the 24/7. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could let them in the masjid, all of them. But you see, since Ibrahim alayhi salam, we said in Ibrahim kana ummah, he was a nation, traveling from everywhere.
One place to another.
Iraq to Palestine to Jerusalem to Egypt. The guy go back to Saudi Arabia is moving. And this was Khalilullah. The sincere, the closest friend of Allah. Allah didn't tell him, oh Ibrahim, sit 24/7, worship me. And you're done. No. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from all these kind of connection, and we get that connection with him, to use that for what? Establish that religion. Establish the religion of Islam on earth. This is basically the outcome of our ibadat, of our Islam. When we establish a masjid as is a start for a future generation. When we establish an Islamic school, when we establish an Islamic school, that is what we need the Islam to what? To rule the earth. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have asked us to do. So this is the main. Our job is basically practical. This is what we do here, is to have the connection. Why to have the connection with Allah? Because the same ayah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَكْتَشْفُ الضُّرُّ. When something goes wrong, He's the one who will intervene. You have the connection with Him. He watching over you. You see Sayyidina Musa? He was parting the Red Sea. He did everything. They were praying, they were doing all that stuff. But things went wrong. Pharaoh came behind him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to intervene and deliver him. Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, he took with all the reasons around him when he was trying to migrate from Mecca to Medina. He took air, he did all that. He went to a different direction. He took a guide to guide them in the way, so on and so forth. But at the end, they were where? In a cave. And the kuffar, the unbelievers, were outside the cave. And Sayyidina Abu Bakr, he was anxious. He said, Rasulullah he said, what do you think about two? Allah salithuma. Allah is the third. He's watching. We have already the connection with Allah. He will intervene. You see, so that is all for us. We do the ibadat, we do it, and we go on earth trying to talk about Islam. And the most important thing, like we say, is to be the best example. To be the best example. That's the best da'wah. Number one, to be the best example as a Muslim. And then after that, people will start. You create credibility. When you create credibility, people will start to listen to you. The most important thing is people will never listen to somebody who has no credibility. When you go to the court, first thing, a lawyer, try to attack a witness, he goes, the credibility. He does this, he did this in the past. He has so and so crimes in the past. So he's asking the court, the jury around, not to listen to him because of his credibility. You know, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to have credibility in this society. When we have the credibility, we become the best example, what's going to happen? Yeah, eventually, what you practicing? Why are you praying? Why are you doing Ramadan? What is this religion is all about? Why I see you so happy. I saw you so cheerful. I see you smiling all the time. I see you following all the parking laws, for everything. So what makes you do that? Then the people start to open their hearts to Islam. You know, so this is very important for us to understand.
One is practical example happened with me.
Yes.
When I knew
Yes.
came, then I used to pray Salat al-Duhar
Yes.
in working place.
Yes.
Then I went to bathroom
Yes.
and I make wudu.
Yes.
Everything came out wet. And then some of the guy, or I don't remember, one or more than one, said, "Oh, Dr. Muhammad, every day he took shower." I did wudu, they say shower, because they don't know.
Exactly.
Then what happened when I came to pray? Then subsequently they came to know that I make ablution, preparation
Yes.
for my salah. Then when I started salah, they were preventing everybody that don't come now. Muhammad is praying.
MashaAllah.
Okay. So
They
that
do
is,
so this is the way. This is the way we'll have to make them understand. They don't know.
exactly. فتح الله عليك. فتح الله. Beautiful. إن عذاب ربك كان محظورا. Indeed, the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fearsome, very fearful, very, very severe. وإن من قرية إلا نحن مهلكوها قبل يوم القيامة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a decree, his decision about every nation which is unjust nation. Okay? Any unjust nation, any wicked nation will try to fight, will try to be an enemy to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, means what? Fighting what? Fighting what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made, you know, halal, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made his laws. Fighting the ibad, awliya, the people who want to pray, people who want to worship Allah, the people who want to have everything on earth become following and obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All these nations are fighting these people. You're going to see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. They will be destroyed. There are so many of them. You have the Jewish nation. They want to annihilate. They want to get rid of the Palestinians, for example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no,
No,
I'll
you
take care of
cannot.
them. You know, just give me the time. Because remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala main goal is what? The hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he has to prove that these people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is the most just. In order for him to go get that Netanyahu and throw him in a hellfire, he has to have evidence.
Video.
What? Video. He did this. He starved these people to death. Okay? He killed these people. Unjustly. He chopped their arms, he chopped their foot. He did all these crimes. He prevented them from having water. He prevented them from having food, so on and so forth. So when he's being thrown into hellfire, show him he's going to start to argue. Show him his videos.
Now you decide.
Here you go. Then he's going to say, he's going to, surrender. Same thing with unjust nations. You know, a ruler in an unjust, what's so-called right now Islamic nations, starving their people, stealing their money. You know, money is being distributed to the elites, and the people cannot even find a loaf of bread.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you think these regimes is gonna stay? No. Allah will send, even before the end of times, Allah will send those who will take care of these people and destroy these unjust nations. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's policies on earth. You know, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving that kind of decree. إِلَّا قَبْلَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, before even the hereafter, before the يوم القيامة, will destroy them. أو معذبوها, or will punish them عذابا شديدا, severe punishment. كان ذلك في الكتاب مسطورا. Indeed, This was already written, decreed, before the creation. We said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before He created everything, like a programmer. What's the programmer does? He write the code for a program. It's called, there's different code for different languages. He programmed everything. And then everything came to existence. Okay? Everything we see right now, Allah already predestined before. And He's telling you that all these nations you see, unjust nations, killing, taking people who are, who didn't commit any crimes, He will take them and what? Destroy them. It's already been decreed. وما منعنا أن نرسل بالآيات إلا أن كذب بها الأولون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the same ayat, people need to pay attention. Same thing they did in the past happened. They were being destroyed. What happened to Thamud? What happened to Ad? What happened to Ashab al-Aika? What happened to the pharaohs? What happened to all these people? He's talking here to the Quraysh. The people who are, and everybody here also on earth right now, whoever is fighting there, Ibadullah, the slaves of Allah, that this is going to be your destination. وآتينا ثمود. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning one story from the past. آتينا ثمود الناقة مبصرة. We have brought the الناقة, we have brought the she camel with for Thamud. فظلموا بها. They killed it. They killed the camel. وَمَا نُرْسِلْ بِالْآيَاتِ إِلَّا تَخْوِيفًا. Indeed, we send our sign as a matter to make the people fear and pay attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's signs. Why? Because again, this life for Allah is just a testing room. The main punishment is in the hereafter.
Waiting.
He's a master. This life is whatever. You see, like he give the kafir, he give the disbeliever bunch of money, no problem.
Power.
Yeah, he give doesn't matter. Power, test everything. So when he takes him, when he takes him in the hereafter, there's no excuse. وإذ قلنا لك إن ربك أحاط بالناس. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I know. I said, أحاط بالناس. What's أحاط بالناس mean? That everything they do is under surveillance. Everything they do is under surveillance. When you go walking in the streets of New York City, you see cameras. You're under surveillance. Exactly. So don't think anything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not aware of. He knows everything. And your actions outside the home, inside the home, everything is under surveillance. Even in your heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's going on in the hearts. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمَا جَعَلْنَا الرُّؤْيَا الَّتِي أَرَيْنَاكَ إِلَّا فِتْنَةً لِلنَّاسِ وَالشَّجَرَةَ الْمَلْعُونَةَ فِي الْقُرْآنِ. This ayah have came down because there is an ayah in the Quran. There was Allah, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was talking to the people of Quraysh and telling them that there was one tree which will grow in the hellfire, and this will be food for the people who living in the hellfire, will be destined to be in the hellfire. So they couldn't comprehend that there will be a tree in the hellfire. That's why this ayah came down. والشجرة الملعونة في القرآن, the cursed tree. ونخوفهم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the signs. Same thing like مثل الأعلى. When you are talking about a student, you see the student is not doing his homework. The student is not focusing on the class. All the time he's on a cell phone. People come in here, Friday prayer or whatever, any mosque you go, people are on your cell phone. People are not even there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so is saying, okay, you are just here. Pay attention to the signs. So you see the student, for example, he's not paying attention. The student is not doing his homework. And you keep telling him as a teacher, your exam is next week. Your exam is in 1 week. You're going to get a 0. It's basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sending this to us, to show us all these examples. فما يزيدهم إلا طغيانا كبيرا. This will increase them in what? Become more arrogant, become more aggressor, You know, you tell, for example, Netanyahu, you tell the United States government, this is not right. You guys are taking our taxpayers' money and go killing others, innocent people. They're trying to manipulate it and change it. Oh, but we're trying to find these terrorists. You know, we're trying to kill, you know, to find them. But it manipulate the situation. Because, for example, if somebody escaped and came into your house and hide inside your house, for example, okay, do the police have the right to come and kill everybody in the house to catch that guy?
No.
No. Same thing, same kind of ideology. Just
Gaza is going on this.
manipulating the people's mind so they can, you know, be able to justify what they do. أقول قولي هذا
الحمد لله.
وأستغفر الله لي ولكم
Things are
ولسائر
changed.
المسلمين.